Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer greatly from the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed, and on the third day be raised. Then Peter took Jesus aside and began to rebuke him. God forbid, Lord, no such thing shall ever happen to you. He turned and said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle to me. You are thinking not as God does, but as human beings do. Then Jesus said to his disciples, Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What profit would there be for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what can one give in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man will come with his angels and in his Father's glory, and then he will repay all according to his conduct. The Gospel of the Lord. In today's responsorial psalm, we sing together, My soul is thirsting for you, my Lord, my God. This should be our experience in our relationship with God, that we feel thirst of Him, of His glory, of His love. My soul is thirsting of happiness, the soul of each one of us. But that happiness is God Himself. And just when we understand this, and when we try to do His will and not our will, we are in the way of holiness, the way of the real happiness. Today we can see in the Gospel how our will destroys God's plans. St. Peter, the first Pope, after he professed that Jesus is the Messiah, you remember last Sunday, you are the Messiah, the Son of God. Immediately, he said to Jesus, I not agree with your plan. And Jesus said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. Sometimes our human will is not the God's will. We need to put in the first place God. And just when God is in the first place, our human will is good. Peter, I think that Peter react for love to Jesus. He don't want it that Jesus suffered, because Jesus said that the elders, the chief priests, and the scribes be kill him. And Peter said no. Maybe his reaction, our human reaction is that this not this way. And Jesus said, if you want to come with me, take your cross, deny yourself, and come to me. That is the way of Jesus. It's a mysterious way. I repeat, as a human, a reaction before the suffering, before the cross, is avoid that. But Jesus said, no, that is the way of your salvation. When the cross appears in your life, embrace it. For Jesus. That is the way of your salvation. We are not looking for sufferings. No. But when the cross appears, and it's inevitable cross, we need to embrace that for Him. As Jesus embraced His cross for each one of us, for our salvation. Today let us ask to the Lord, Lord, help me to do your will, to understand your plans. Help me to understand what is your will for me, for my beloved ones. Give me wisdom in order to discover that will, your will. Because if I chose my own way, probably that is the way of my auto-destruction. What do you prefer? To follow Jesus through the cross or follow the world? The world have many ways, attractive ways. The world say to you, don't worry, be happy. Any problems? The paradise on earth. How many people say that? And that is impossible. The paradise is only in the presence of God, only with God. And if we want to go to there, inevitable, we need to pass for the way of the cross. Let us ask to the Lord, Lord, help me to follow you, to trust in you, to abandon myself in you, to follow your way and not my selfishness, my pride, my egoism. With this intention in our heart, let us pray for a few seconds in silence and try to discover if in this moment you are following Jesus or just your feelings, your own desires. Let us pray in silence.